Resistance test. By clicking on resistance on the start page of the software, ohm resistance test room opens. In this room, it is possible to measure ohm resistance of various equipment in the resistance test tab. Test object and mega test report tabs are used to enter the nominal information of the equipment and the results of the mega test respectively. Test object tab. To perform a test, every module needs information about the equipment. This information is entered in test object. In resistance data section, the general information about the piece of equipment which is to be recorded in the output report is entered. The name of the equipment, serial number, name of manufacturer, type, name of company, name of country, and the address to the location and the power station where the equipment is installed are entered in name of device, serial number, manufacturer, type, company, country, and station fields respectively to be added to the report. In resistance section, the temperature and ohm range of the equipment are entered. The ambient temperature is entered in ambient temperature field, while the temperature correction factor in accordance with the current ambient temperature and the reference temperature, and also the coil material, the amount of ohm resistance, and deviation positive and deviation negative of the resistance tolerance are entered in temperature correction factor field. In extra data section, the date of testing in Gregorian calendar, the information of the performer of the test, and the information of the supervisor are entered in date, tested by, and approved by fields respectively. The RMS value of each parameter is calculated based on the average of several time periods. The bigger number of time periods, the longer the calculation takes, which consequently leads to higher accuracy and less fluctuations. The number of time periods is entered in averaging field in noise suppression section. This field is the same as number of period field in setting in signal view window. By clicking add to report option at the box at the bottom of the screen, this information is added to the report and a message saying report was added to the list is displayed. It is possible to view the report by selecting report window from the right toolbar. By clicking on Delete Report in the Delete from Report window, the added report is removed from the report window. If Set as Default is selected, the entered information is set as default and displayed every time the resistance room is opened. Resistance Test tab. To perform this test, it's necessary to enter the test current, time, and the intended input for measuring the voltage in State Settings section in iTest, State Time, and Analog Input Target fields respectively. Also, if the resistance of the equipment is low and you wish to have a more accurate measurement, it is recommended to select input 10. In the next step, the connection type is to be selected from among YN 3-phase 1-phase, Y 3-phase, D 3-phase in Object Type section. Resistance test. If the single-phase or 3-phase equipment which is to be tested is a star point grounded, the first radio button should be selected and the wiring should be adjusted in accordance with the range of the injected current, as well as the voltage level seen in the figure. The equivalent circuit with this type of wiring is displayed as follows, and the ohm resistance is calculated using the following relation. For a 3-phase equipment without a null point, the second radio button should be selected and the wiring should be adjusted in accordance with the range of the injected current as well as the voltage levels seen in the figure. The equivalent circuit for this type of wiring is displayed as follows, and the ohm resistance is calculated using the following relation. In the 3-phase method, the wiring is adjusted in accordance with the range of the injected current and the voltage level can be seen in the figure. The equivalent circuit for this type of wiring is displayed as follows, and the ohm resistance is calculated using the following relation. The voltage measurement mode is specified in voltage measurement mode. Since the method used to measure the resistance is dividing the voltage difference by the current, range of the input's voltage is effective in measuring the accuracy of resistance. Therefore, for measuring the resistance, one of the inputs of this section should be selected in accordance with the coil resistance and the maximum resistance specified for every input. If the resistance is greater than the selected range, the device shows an overvoltage error. In this case, either the current must be decreased or the resistance measurement range must be increased. In case of facing an error other of the current outputs, the current needs to be decreased. Running the test and analyzing the results. To begin the test, first in test object 200 milliohm, 50 milliohm, 10 amperes, 1 second are specified as ohm resistance, upper and lower tolerance, current and test duration, respectively. Input 2 is selected for analog input target. Then object type is set at YN, 3-phase, 1-phase, and voltage measurement mode is set up to 28 volts. And since the approximate resistance is smaller than 200 milliohm, maximum voltage is set at up to 4.5 volts and the wiring is adjusted according to the figure. It should be noted that it is possible to magnify the figure by double-clicking on it. In this wiring, IA1 and IB1 current output phases are jumpered and IA2 and IB2 phases are directly connected to the equipment. To measure the voltage difference, it is necessary to connect input 2 to the test and further ahead of current injection connectors. It should be noted that before running the test, it's necessary to click on Init Test so that the device configuration is adjusted automatically. By selecting this option, the settings related to current and test time as well as the hardware configurations related to hardware configuration, including outputs of the device and binary analog inputs are adjusted automatically by the software. In Analog Output tab in Hardware Configuration section, you can see that the wiring of the device is set as 32 ampere with the maximum burden of 400 milliamperes and binary analog input 2 are activated to measure the voltage. After performing the test, in Signal View it is possible to view the current waveform along with its actual values and the measured voltage and also examine the connections of the connectors. After the test is finished, the test results can be viewed in Results section. After the test is finished, the test results can be viewed in Results section. The results include I injection, V measurement, R measurement times CF, and R deviation, which refer to the amount of injected current, the measured voltage, the measured impedance, and the difference between the nominal resistance and the resistance specified in R measured times CF field, respectively. It should be noted that by holding the cursor on either of these two fields, the relations related to them are displayed. In the end, after the test is finished, it is necessary to add the evaluation results to the report, which is done by selecting Add to Report in Equipment Test. Also, if the user wishes to add specific parts of the evaluation to the report or edit the report, they need to use Add to Report cog. By clicking on this cog, the item that can be added to the report are checked and the user can simply uncheck any of them which they do not need. It should be noted that the results are not automatically added to the report after each test. When a test is performed, it is necessary to add the test results to the output report by selecting Add to Report before clearing the test. Also, if one of the analog outs is faulty, the specified binary out should be changed. The user can do so by two notable points about performing this test are that error other during a test indicates that there is a problem in connection of the wirings, or the resistance is too high that the device is unable to provide the required burden for current injection. Therefore, in case of facing this error, examine the actual current value in Signal View. If the current is injected from the device, but its difference with the specified current is too big, it means that the resistance is too high, while if the actual current is 0, this means that the root current injection is open. In cases where the resistance is too high, the test current needs to be decreased, while if the actual current is 0, the connection of the connectors need to be examined. The second important point is that the voltage read by the binaries of the device must have similar cycles. If the read values have a too big or 0 tolerance, this means that the connectors are not properly connected. Since some users perform a mega test for this equipment and they may need the results in a report, it is possible for them to enter their intended line and column in Megatest Report tab and by selecting Insert, create their needed table, and after inserting the test results and selecting Add to Report, add the information to the output report. Other options such as delete report, export, and import are used to remove the information of this page from the report, exporting the output file only from the information of this page and importing it if necessary, respectively. Also, if the user wishes to set the characteristics of the created line and column as default for this section of the room, they can use Set as Default option.